The Zephyrian High Command had seen many species surrender. The proud Altarians with their crystalline cities, the warrior poet Vexhai, who sang their defeat in haunting melodies. Even the technologically superior Kepler Syndicate had eventually bent the knee when faced with the Zephyrian war machine's inexorable advance. But humans? Humans were different. Commander Vexthal studied the tactical display with growing unease. The human colony of New Geneva should have fallen 3 cycles ago. His fleet of 12 dreadnoughts had reduced their orbital defenses to scrap metal, bombarded their military installations to dust, and severed all supply lines. By every military doctrine in the known galaxy, the humans should have surrendered. Instead, they kept fighting. "Sir," his aide chittered nervously, mandibles clicking in distress. "The surface reports are unusual." "Define unusual, Lieutenant." "The humans have begun using improvised weapons. Yesterday, they destroyed one of our landing craft with what appears to be fertilizer and fuel." The aide's compound eyes flickered with confusion. "Today, they collapsed a tunnel system beneath Platoon 7 using nothing but mining equipment and gravity." Vexathal's forearms crossed in contemplation. In his 3 centuries of military service, he had conquered 47 worlds. He understood the mathematics of warfare. Superior firepower plus strategic positioning equals victory. But the humans seemed to operate by different mathematics entirely. The communication array crackled to life. "Zephyrian Command, this is Captain Marcus Chen of the New Geneva Defense Force." Vexathal activated the translator. The human's voice came through flat and emotionless, not the desperate pleading he expected from a defeated enemy, nor the defiant rage of a cornered predator, just emptiness. "I am listening. Human. I want to discuss terms." Finally, Vexthal allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Unconditional surrender is the only term acceptable to the Zephyrian Empire. A pause. When Chen spoke again, something in his tone made Vexthal's exoskeleton prickle with unease. "I had a wife, Sarah. She taught xenobiology at the university. Always said understanding other species was the key to peace." Chen's voice remained flat, conversational. "Your first bombardment hit the university district." Vexthal frowned. Why was the human sharing this irrelevant information? "I had a daughter too, Emma, 8 years old. Loved drawing pictures of alien creatures she'd never met. Said she wanted to be an ambassador when she grew up." Another pause. The refugee shelter took a direct hit on day 2. The bridge had fallen silent. Even the lieutenant had stopped his nervous clicking. "Here's the thing, Commander Vexthal. Yes, I know your name. Your rank, your service record. How many worlds you've conquered. I know because I've spent 3 days learning everything about you and your crew, while you've been trying to dig my people out of these ruins." Chen continued. And now there was something beneath the emptiness, something that made Vexthal wish the human would go back to being merely defeated. "I was a terraforming engineer before this war. I know how to make worlds habitable. More importantly, I know how to make them uninhabitable. I know where you get your water. I know the atmospheric processors that keep your colonies breathing. I know the cargo routes that feed your families." The tactical display showed New Geneva as a burning wasteland, pockmarked with craters and wreathed in smoke. It should have been over. "You want my surrender? Here are my terms. You leave. All of you. Every ship, every soldier, every trace of your presence in this system. You forget this world exists." Vexthal's mandibles clicked in what passed for Zephyrian laughter. "Or what? You will throw more fertilizer at us? Collapse more tunnels? Or I stop playing defense?" The words hung in the void between them like a gravitational anomaly, bending everything around them. "You see, Commander, you made one critical error in your intelligence gathering. You assumed that because humans seem soft, because we value life and peace and cooperation, that those are our defining characteristics. But they're not. They're just what we choose when we have something to lose." The communication feed crackled with interference, then cleared. "I'm uploading something to your databanks now. Recognize these locations? Zephyr Prime's water treatment facilities, New Zephyr's atmospheric generators, the trade hub at Kepler Station that supplies 70% of your outer colonies." Vexthal's 4 hearts began beating in unsynchronized panic as the data streamed across his displays. Detailed schematics, security protocols, personnel schedules, supply manifests. "How did you? 3 days, Commander. 3 days of having nothing better to do than dig through your quantum networks while you hunted my neighbors through rubble. Turns out human cybernetic warfare isn't just advanced, it's vindictive. The human's voice remained steady, but now Vexthul could hear what lay beneath the emptiness. Not rage, not desperation. Something far more dangerous, purpose without constraint. The beauty of losing everything is that it clarifies your priorities. I don't need to survive this. I don't need to rebuild. I don't need to see tomorrow. I only need to make sure that every Zephyrian world burns before I do. Warning klaxons began wailing across the bridge. System alerts flooded the tactical display. Remote viruses were already attacking their home fleet's navigation systems. So here's what's going to happen, Chen continued conversationally. You're going to order your fleet to withdraw. You're going to classify this system as a navigational hazard and forget it exists, because the alternative isn't just losing this battle or this war. The alternative is losing everything you've ever built. Vexthul stared at the strategic overview of his empire's critical infrastructure, now outlined in pulsing red markers on his screen. Every target perfectly catalogued. Every vulnerability exposed. One human, he whispered. One human with nothing left to lose, Chen corrected. Do we have an agreement, Commander? As Vexthul gave the order to retreat, he finally understood why the other species had eventually surrendered. They had something to protect. Something to lose. The humans had taught him a terrible lesson about warfare. The most dangerous weapon in the galaxy wasn't superior technology or overwhelming force. It was someone who had already lost everything that mattered.